Babe? Babe? Do you want to talk about E3?
What's up, YouTube? It's AJ and Katie. Back at it again.
One of the few things that will take me out of my human incubation of xenomorphs, and that is E3. Talking about it, thinking about it, making videos about it. So here we are, E3 2019. It's finally time. It is almost Comic-Con. And we are finally making our E3 2019 video. But we're going to just dive right in. Mm-hmm. So what are we doing? We have several conferences to talk about.
Yeah.
And we're just going to rank them. But as we rank them, we're going to talk about our highlights from each one. So our least favorite conference, but that's just, ranking them all. So it's just all relative. But coming in last, if you can even count it as a conference, it was EA, which they did EA Play. So it wasn't really an E3 conference, but the one thing that was very awesome about EA's E3 2019 was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, dude.
And so seeing the gameplay reveal from that is definitely the highlight for both of us. And BD1.
Mm-hmm. BD1, BB.
BD1, BB. So, that's basically it. I mean, you can slow down time, force pull dudes into their own bullets and kill them.
Yep. That was the highlight of the gameplay demo for me.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah. So there was some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And that looks like a really cool game. We are hyped.
Super hyped.
So that is, that's the long and short of it. The short and short of it. That's EA's 2019 E3 showing for us. Okay, so moving on. Our next conference that we're going to be talking about is kind of a tough one to put this low on the list, but Devolver Digital. Now, the last 3 years, we've loved watching these.
Oh, yeah.
They've been hilarious little sci-fi skits, or not sci-fi. This year it was sci-fi. But, just grotesque, hilarious, over-the-top parodies of the video game industry. Yeah. Very funny, very entertaining. So we're not rating that, but what we are rating is, for us, video games, because one of our things is, and most of you all who know us know that we buy physical. We do not buy games digitally. And the very few games we've bought digitally, it's games we've already owned physically, and we want them on a different console, and so we're willing to buy them in the digital marketplace. So
it's hard with a company like Devolver Digital because they're like smaller, developers and stuff. So yeah, they don't always have a physical release. So we might be like, yeah, that game looks awesome, but it's not going to be something that we'll get because it's not going to be released physically. So
exactly. So we're kind of like, basically the highlight for me, and I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking for you too, but I believe I am. We kind of talked about this already, but Carrion, the game where you appear to be just some kind of dead, like amalgamation of body ooze. Yeah. I don't really know, like just kind of dead things all put together and, glommed together to be a life force.
Yeah, you're some kind of like infected thing. I don't know, man. And
I mean, the world traversal looks really cool. It reminds me of the mimics from Prey. And it just kind of like looks fun to control and to just kind of like eat scientists, I guess. But if it doesn't get a physical release, we'll probably never play it. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
So but that game looks very cool.
Yeah. Always, it's been a really fun conference for the past few years, so we always look forward to it.
Yeah, we definitely look forward to watching it. It almost feels separate from E3 for us, though.
Yeah.
Because...
I feel like, yeah.
Well, I mean, because we don't know if any of the games they're showing will ever get a physical release, and so it's hard for us. So what's up next?
Well, I believe that Square Enix is next.
They didn't really have an announcement. that was unknown to us.
Right.
That really wowed us. But they did show stuff like the Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay footage and Marvel's Avengers reveal. So, I mean, those were cool things. It didn't blow us away, but those are both games we're looking forward to.
Yeah. And we like more conferences. So I feel like some people, I saw some people being like, why'd they even have a conference or something? And it's like, we just enjoy, we enjoy it, getting to see more stuff and more conferences.
Right. Definitely more is better than less. And if you don't blow us away, that's okay, because we love just sitting there watching E3 press conferences during E3 week. It adds to the spice of everything, the excitement.
We're excited for both of those games.
Yeah.
We're probably weird because we have not played Final Fantasy VII, but we're excited about the remake, so it's kind of a cool situation to be in. That we did not play the original,
Neither of us have played Final Fantasy VII. Tell us in the comments how crazy we are.
Yeah.
So that's Square Enix. So are we ready to move on again?
Yeah.
All right, so up next we have Ubisoft. So Ubisoft, for me, the highlight was actually Gods and Monsters.
Yeah. I'm excited, but I am like I want more to know how excited I should be kind of feeling about it right now, that's all.
Yeah, it's definitely, for me, it's a lot of hype, and that's a lot of what E3 is. But, getting on a little tangent really fast.
Tell me about it.
I love hype.
I do too. It's fun.
It's so fun. And it's like, yeah, you might get disappointed, but as long as you understand that you might get disappointed, it's okay, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because, I get hyped, and then a game might not live up to expectations, but I look forward to getting hyped for the next E3 because it's fun.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, it is built on hype. It might not be as good as I'm hoping it'll be, but so far, Gods and Monsters, I love the artistic style. And it reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild, which, everyone knows how much we love that game. But it's in this mythical universe where you're fighting, these monsters and I guess gods. And it just looks like it has a lot of potential. For me, a lot of that potential comes from knowing that it's from the team who made Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which was one of my favorite 2018 video games. So there's just a whole lot for me. That's why I'm hyped.
Yeah. And we loved the, spoiler for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but the mythological creatures that were involved in the story for that game. And it almost feels like a continuation of that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it does. It does. It is cool. So along with that, Ubisoft had some other cool stuff. Watchdogs Legion looks pretty innovative. Do I say that weird? Innovative? Watchdogs Legion looks pretty innovative. Innovative.
I think you say it. Isn't that how British people say it?
I don't know, probably.
Innovative.
Aluminium. All right, so yeah, though, I liked Watch Dogs 1. I really liked Watch Dogs 2. I'm excited for a new Watch Dogs game, and it definitely seems to be adding a different element. And the most recent game I played that's like this, I feel like, is State of Decay 2, but that's what it reminds me of. Is the element of having just a group of people and you kind of control them all. I don't know if there's going to be a main protagonist in Watch Dogs Legion or if it's just going to kind of be everybody is, they could die and continue shifting, who the player's number one protagonist is in their head, kind of can just keep shifting. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, it does look pretty neat. So I'm excited for that as well. And then other than that, though, game-wise, there wasn't really anything else that we want to note, but Bam Bam was a highlight for us.
The sweet angel puppy.
He was a very cute boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also the new TV show about Mac making video games.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a mix of The Office and Silicon Valley or something. That's what it reminded me of.
Interesting. Yeah. So yeah, that is called Mythic Quest. All right, so next up for us is Microsoft, which a lot of people had them a lot higher. For us, it's kind of like, I think we both saw through the veil that it's like Sony not... What? What? Sony not being at E3 allowed Microsoft to have a lot more third-party stuff that they otherwise wouldn't have had, and it kind of beefed up their conference, when in reality, the Microsoft stuff like that they're making, it wasn't as big of a wow factor for us.
Yeah. I feel like for the past 3 years, I have been like, all right, this is it. Microsoft's going to like, you know, have some heavy hitters. They're going to have some new IPs. And it just didn't happen again. And I mean, I don't know. But we're here to talk about the highlights, not our complaints. So.
But I'm going to rapid fire some good stuff. Because...
Hit me.
Because they showed some cool stuff. There's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Mm-hmm. There's Blair Witch, which I'm skeptical but excited. Again, I have like the hype, but I'm like, this could be a VR game. This could be a digital only game. Like I don't really know anything about it yet, but if it's like a console horror game that comes out as a physical release, of course I'm psyched.
Yeah.
Elden Ring, which is the George R.R. Martin and From Software video game coming up, which has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And, so those are like the rapid fire things. Of course, there's the things we already knew about that, we kind of saw a little bit more of, like Gears 5, Gears of War 5, whatever, Halo Infinite. But then for us, the highlight of the show, this is another reason why it's like Microsoft isn't higher for us, is like the moment of Keanu Reeves was one of the best moments of E3.
Yeah.
But it's Keanu Reeves, and it's for a video game that you can play on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So, but I will say, though, that moment where Keanu Reeves walks out, first of all, it gets revealed that he's going to be in Cyberpunk 2077, and then he walks out on the stage. Yeah, it was one of the best moments of E3, hands down.
Yeah. So when you're writing conferences, like, obviously that has to, like, play into it, but it's funny to have, like, a, guest appearance make a conference instead of a game announcement or like a game reveal trailer or a gameplay trailer reveal. So
right, exactly. But that being said, Microsoft was still a cool conference. I mean, it's in like the middle of the pack for us. So yeah. So that's Microsoft. Now this one might catch us some heat. A lot of people hated Bethesda's conference.
Yeah.
We were at Bethesda's conference and know that, well, actually, it might factor in a tiny bit, I'll admit. But the reason it factors in is for the same reasons that, like, the reason being there factors into how much I liked it. Like, the reason that matters, or doesn't matter, I should say, is because I feel like the things that I was, like, wow for being there, I would have been wow about watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like Shinji Mikami walking out on the stage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like, no, I'm not excited about more mobile games and microtransactions and Fallout 76 DLC. However, I'm very excited for Bethesda as a publisher. Mm-hmm. And those things is why I put their conference so high. I think why we put their conference so high.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, when Shinji Mikami walked out on the stage, I mean, he's a legend. Mm-hmm. And he's like 25 feet from our faces. I mean, it was a little surreal being that close to that unfolding. And then he comes out. I'm expecting The Evil Within 3, but it's totally fine that it was not that, because he's making a new spooky game, Ghostwire Tokyo, and that is one of my moments of E3. I would say it's so hard because we have another thing coming up that was another big reveal, but it was one of my top reveals of E3 2019. So, obviously, there was Ikumi Nakamura. A lot of people liked her a lot. She was pretty cute, but I mean, for me, it was all about Shinji Mikami. But
I was gonna say also, I don't know if we'll talk about this at another time, but you got to talk to him and take a picture with him as well.
Thanks to you.
Not just being 25 feet from him on the stage, but we actually got to interact with him. So that was really cool.
Yeah, thanks to you.
Wow.
We're sitting there eating our mac and cheese and grilled onions, which, by the way, was so good. And this was after the conference, so it's like the little party Bethesda threw. And Katie's like, AJ, I think that's Shinji Mikami. And I like look up, and there he is, like very close to us, talking to somebody. And I got to go in my The Evil Within 2 shirt. Mm-hmm. I got to go up to him, tell him how much I love his work, and get my picture with him. Very cool.
So cool.
So yeah. Beyond that, we got more from Wolfenstein Youngblood. We also got Deathloop, which was a very cool looking reveal. And of course, Doom Eternal. Mm-hmm. More from Doom Eternal, which, oof. I demoed that at E3, and ooh, we're looking forward to that game. Hyped.
Do you want to do an impromptu slideshow of Bethesda's conference pictures that we took and post? And I think already posted, but just kind of put it in here as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Just like we could post obviously the Shinji Mikami, we could post the mac and cheese, we could post things like that.
Yeah.
And this can kind of be like our mini Bethesda talk because we didn't take any video.
Yeah, we did not take any video.
So we can kind of this is like our impromptu Bethesda conference experience.
Well, if we're going to be talking about that, should we go ahead and throw in that the Game Ranks guys came and just like talked to us while we were eating as well?
Sure, if you want.
Because I mean, if we're talking about our Bethesda E3 showcase experience, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We got to talk to our friends over at Game Ranks, and it was really funny because Jake Baldino walked up while we were eating, and he came up behind us and was just like, he was joking, by the way. I want to preface with that. Mm-hmm. But he was like, hey, I'm a big fan. Can I get my picture with you guys? Talking to Katie and myself, and it was very funny. So, of course, we're a teeny channel, so he was joking. I want to, I don't want anybody listening to think I'm delusional, but but I just thought it was funny, and it was very nice of them to come and say hello, and we love those guys, so. Mm-hmm. We got to hang out with them more than just that day, but it was just another highlight for us of Bethesda's conference.
Yeah.
Talking with the dudes, Andrew and Tom as well. So, and then also Hugo Martin, one of the co-directors of Doom Eternal, near the end of the night as I was demoing the game there, he walked up and started talking to you while you were watching me demo it.
Mm-hmm. He came over as you were demoing Doom Eternal, and I, looked over and saw that it was him, and he was just standing there, drink in hand, watching you play, and it was just so cool. I just, He was giving you pointers, right?
He was giving me pointers, and once I realized who was sitting there watching me, I did die pretty quick. I got very nervous. I felt like I was doing good in the demo, even though I was a little bit tipsy from all the free drinks they were giving out at the showcase. Mm-hmm. But when he walked over, I did I feel like my level of play dipped. So
I feel like you also kind of wanted to talk to him, so that probably brought you out of the demo a little bit too. You were kind of like, am I gonna get to talk to you right now, or am I gonna just keep demoing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was really cool.
Yeah.
We saw Todd Howard walking around.
Yeah, we did. And we saw Marty Stratton, the other co-director of Doom Eternal. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of fun stuff, though. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a pretty good sum up, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We made a friend, Matterhorn.
Yeah, Matterhorn. He's a creator here on YouTube.
Yeah, and his channel's called Matterhorn, and he mentioned us in his video about Bethesda Showcase, so that was really nice.
Yeah.
So that was another really cool moment for us, was talking to him a lot.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy.
Yeah. So that is what turned into a long tangent, but I am glad we went ahead and knocked that out because we wanted to talk about Bethesda's conference, but we didn't really want to make a video just about it because we didn't get any video footage. Yeah, we got to talk about that here.
Yeah.
So, is it time to move on?
I think so.
Okay, so next up, I feel like this is funny because, again, we might catch heat. This is just our opinion.
Yeah.
We have our opinions. Everyone else has their opinions. And you know what they say? Unlike buttholes, I have one.
What's this from? I forgot.
Comedy Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Opinions are like yeah. Unlike buttholes, I have one. Or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. It's our opinion and limited run. was our second favorite conference from E3 2019. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Yeah, they are just a company that takes existing games and turns them physical. But for us, because we don't buy games digitally, if a game is announced by Limited Run that has never been in the form of physical media before, it means to us it is like actually coming out now.
It's like on our radar now.
Yeah.
To play, yeah.
And like to some people that might be ridiculous because it's like, well, just buy the game digitally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, we don't like to do that. We like to feel like we're purchasing something when we, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
I'm not
it's
trying
all
to
about
criticize.
preference, yeah.
Not trying to criticize.
This is our preference,
Right.
so this is what makes us like this conference more than other
Right.
things. So yeah.
And this might make me sound snooty, but I like to feel like I'm buying something. Like when I buy a product, I want to hold it. You know, I want to see that I have something. And so yeah, we buy our games physically, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So when Limited Run comes out and announces A Night in the Woods, which is a game I've wanted to play for a very long time, it's like basically A Night in the Woods just got announced
Yeah.
at E3. So for me, that was very cool. Not to mention they're bringing back Turok from when I was a kid. They're doing the Star Wars collection thing, which we've already bought the first two of the NES and Game Boy re-releases. There were a whole lot of other things that looked really cool. We bought Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. So I mean, Limited Run really just, I feel like, had just hit after hit that was blowing us away. So we finished watching that conference and said that was one of our highlights of E3 2019.
Yeah.
So now we get to the Whale Lord in the room, which is our number one conference and winner of E3 2019. Nintendo. Which I will say, last year Nintendo was not our conference of the year. So we're not just Nintendo homers. Yeah, we are, but no, we're not.
Even though we are.
But this year they really did win E3 for us.
Yeah.
And I mean, I made a joke on Twitter that Nintendo could have shown us a pile of dog shit for 40 minutes and cut to that Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, and they would have still won E3 for us. Now, it may have been a little overdramatic, but I, for the most part, stand by that because you're announcing a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time, and you make it look all spooky. In the basement of Hyrule Castle, there's a zombie Ganon thing, maybe, that's emanating scary stuff. I don't know. But you show me that, and you don't have to show me much else to win E3.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is pretty sweet.
It's so exciting. I feel like it's one of those times that I don't need to know more. It's just that it's happening. I'm very pleased. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, yes, thank you. We'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah. And that's the announcement that I was referring to when I was saying Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah.
Is probably my number 2 reveal.
Yeah.
Of E3 2019, and that's because Breath of the Wild 2, whatever it's going to be called, is number 1.
Yeah.
So that was the highlight, starting with the highlight, I guess.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of other things, deeper looks at a lot of games that we already knew were coming, like Animal Crossing New Horizons, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Link's Awakening remake, Luigi's Mansion 3. Those are all games we're extremely excited for, and they're all going to be coming out within the next year. And then Banjo-Kazooie being in Smash.
Ooh, yeah. That was such a fun reveal.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And it's so hard, too, being so, like, anti-DLC for the most part.
I know.
But I have to mention it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it represents a lot more than just Banjo-Kazooie being in Smash. Mm-hmm. It represents Rare and Nintendo working together right now, meaning, is there any possibility, even if it's just like a Banjo-Kazooie remake, remaster, something that comes out on Switch, or maybe even the Banjo-Kazooie 3 that we never got? I don't know.
Dude, yeah, I mean, what about the N64 Classic? Maybe they're working to get Banjo on that.
Very possibly, along with other Rare games. Yeah, I mean, very possibly. Yeah, so it means a lot more than just Banjo-Kazooie in Smash, although just Banjo-Kazooie in Smash is going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's really exciting, dude.
Yeah. And then Alien Isolation is coming to Switch.
Yeah. They just kind of like snuck it in there.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, I mean, that's about it. That is E3 2019. There's a few conferences we didn't talk about because they don't really pertain to us, like the Google Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's a streaming console, obviously it's not going to have anything physical. So, and then we don't really play VR. We're not really PC gamers. We're definitely more console gamers. So, those conferences are just, didn't really, like I said, pertain to us. So it would have been unfair to rank them because I feel like we would have just put them at the bottom. So, but yeah, so that's E3 2019. And thank you all for joining us. Is there anything I'm missing? Anything to add?
I don't think so. I was just going to say these are our highlights and thoughts and faves.
Yep. The hype was real and always will be real at all E3s. Our late E3 videos.
We're still thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be thinking about it until next E3. So, as long as we get it out eventually, right? It's not as late as our Game of the Year videos that come out in June.
Yeah, dude.
For the previous year.
All right.
So, yeah.
Thanks for watching.
We'll be talking to you all soon.
Let's go eat ice cream.